If your brain's telling you you can't sew, it's probably wrong, but let's talk about it. So I am a slow fashion designer, a sewing teacher, and a former seamstress. So I spend a lot of time sewing. I spend a lot of time avoiding sewing, but these days, more often than not, I sew most days. And I have spent a lot of time teaching people how to sew. So let's talk about some of the different reasons why your brain is telling you you can't sew. I have found for me, and this may be different for you, but I've found for me that sometimes when I'm avoiding a project, it's because I don't really fully know how to do it yet. And being a recovering perfectionist, I want to do things right. And there are a lot of different ways to sew, so there often isn't a right way to do it. But I still feel like I should know how to do it. And if I don't, then sometimes I'm avoiding it. Sometimes, and I did this for a long time, I wanted to be really good at sewing before without practicing, right? And I spent a lot of time thinking about how I could get better at it, thinking about what kind of designs I wanted to make, reading books about it, watching videos about it, like you're doing right now, which is a great thing to do. But you don't want to let it stop you from taking action, from actually doing the thing, right? And so sometimes you just have to, set a timer for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, or like today, say I'm going to set up the machine, I'm going to get out my materials, and then I'm going to sew for 5 minutes or something. You have to find a way to let your brain let you get started. You can't think your way to it, right? Overthinking, you're never going to think your way there. You have to just do it. And if you're worried about doing it wrong, I recommend checking out my video about the double album method. And I have a freebie worksheet that goes with that, because I found that the fear of doing it wrong holds a lot of us back. And so just practicing, learning about it and then practicing and allowing yourself to be bad at it, just allowing yourself to do it wrong, right? Okay, so what's another kind? Another kind is when you are actively sewing, you've gotten yourself to do it, but then your brain is like, you're terrible at this. This isn't coming out right. You're not doing this very well. And a lot of us have that inner critic, right? And what is really going on is your brain is trying to keep you safe. So I learned through some great coaching that I did that your primitive brain, which is that, that part that keeps you alive, that can do the fight or flight thing, its job, it wants to seek pleasure, avoid pain, and be efficient. So if you're sewing and it's not coming out great, your brain knows that maybe that could be painful. It's not coming out right. It's emotionally painful. It's not physically painful, but emotional pain and physical pain, they often sort of get mixed up in the brain, I think. And so our brains have this way of protecting us by trying to keep us from doing the thing. It's like you're safer, go back in the cave. You were safer when you weren't sewing. So seek pleasure, avoid pain, be efficient. Well, sewing garments for yourself these days, especially when you don't know how, it's not very efficient. It's much more efficient to go to the store, go to the thrift store, buy something online. So much more efficient to do it that way. So your brain is like, why are you even doing this? You don't need to do this. So sometimes we have to find a way to override that part of our brain that's trying to protect us. It's trying to protect us from that emotional pain of doing it wrong, from that emotional pain of maybe somebody says to you, oh, did you make that yourself? But our brains are just trying to keep us safe. And so safety looks like a lot of different things. And if you're wearing a garment that you made and going out in public, you're risking that somebody might say that they don't like it. And then so that's sort of emotionally painful. So your brain is like, oh, you're not good at this. You should just, scrap it and go wear something out of your closet that somebody else made, right? But it doesn't mean that it's right. And if you want to sew, if this is something that you want to do, you have to learn to put aside what your brain is telling you and do it anyway. And you can either kind of do that in a soft way, like, hey, I hear you. It's okay. Go sit down in the corner. I I got this. I can, I'm going to do it wrong for a little while and that's okay. I'm going to do it anyway. Or you can do it in a more like badass way, like, I'm doing it wrong and I'm doing it anyway. Like, I don't care what you say. Go sit down. I'm busy. So because it's not going to stop, right? So sometimes people think, like, I know there are people in my coaching program that are like, well, give me the answers and make it stop. But it's not going to stop. Our brain is going to keep offering us these things. And as you get better at sewing, if you get better at anything, you think, oh, well, those little voices will stop. That little inner critic will settle down once I get better. Sometimes a little bit, but often it doesn't. It's just, it moves the goalpost. So then you do a harder garment and you're like, and it's still, oh, this isn't good, because your level of complexity rises. So then there's still as much room for error as there was with the first thing that you sewed, because then your brain expects more from you. Your inner critic expects more. So it's kind of like, it's one of those things that I think what you need to learn to do is to be kind to yourself and to be, okay, like, I'm proud of myself that I am doing this. I am going to work on it. It might not come out perfect, but what I can do is practice. I can make 2 or 3 practice garments before I cut into the fabric that I paid $30 or $40 a yard for. It's always going to speak up from time to time. The better you get at sort of managing it and learning to say, oh, I hear you, but like, I'm doing this anyway. I think it can quiet it. Like, I don't notice it as much. It still comes up, like, rears its ugly head from time to time. But I am finding that by sort of embracing that, like, okay, I'm going to do it wrong and I'm going to do it anyway. That sort of makes it almost a little more fun, or like, it's like you have to give yourself permission to just not do it well and figure it out. And so that's like a whole part. So besides kind of learning to put the inner critic in the corner and do it anyway, what else can you do to get yourself moving if you've gotten kind of stuck or your brain is still telling you you're bad at it? I like to do, moving is good. Just sitting and thinking about something often doesn't fix it. But get up and move, dance, or go for a walk, or do like a power pose. There are actual studies that say doing the power pose, like before you go into a meeting or doing something harder, actually does like improve the outcome. So those are physical things that you can do. Another physical thing that you can do is tapping. If you've heard of the EFT or emotional freedom technique, tapping. So you're tapping on your hand and then you tap and you're saying some statements and you're tapping. And this just helps to regulate the nervous system and helps to release that tension. And there are a ton of videos, there are practitioners out there on YouTube and elsewhere that have advice on how to do tapping, and you can tap along with them and things. That's a technique that I have found that when I'm feeling anxiety in my body about something, that tapping often helps. Another physical thing that you can do is some breathing exercises. People will say taking deep breaths. One thing that I learned a while back is to make your exhales longer than your inhales. So your inhale, 1, 2, 3, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or some difference in numbers so that your inhale is shorter than your exhale. And that sends a calming signal to your body. Anything that you can do to sort of regulate and sort of realign or calm down your nervous system so that that's not also getting in your way, because along with our brain telling us, hey, go back in the cave, this isn't safe, you shouldn't be doing this, like, our bodies can get dysregulated as well and cause that sort of inner tension. And then it's not just the little critic, it's also like this feeling in your body. So finding ways to kind of work through it mentally, but also physically, to let that tension and anxiety out of your body can help you move forward and get sewing. So those are just some thoughts that I have for you about if your brain is telling you you can't sew, about sort of maybe why that's happening, just sort of digging into why is that happening for you, what are you feeling in your body, what are the thoughts that are coming into your brain, and just recognizing that just because those thoughts are coming in doesn't mean those thoughts are true. It's just what your brain is offering you. And that you can choose to go on and work on your sewing project anyway, right? If you would like some help getting past some of these issues, you're struggling with a project, your brain's telling you you can't sew, you're feeling anxiety about getting started, you're stuck in the middle of a project, any of those things, I am now offering one-on-one sewing coaching. So it's mostly about the sewing, but also a little bit about the mindset, because a lot of times the mindset gets in the way of the sewing. Sometimes we get stuck and then we have anxiety about figuring it out, and that just stops us from continuing to sew. But it's also about, the coaching is also about, like, where are you stuck and how can I help you get unstuck? So this is video coaching. You can have a 1-hour coaching call with me, and there'll be a link in the channel description and below. And if you're watching this a few years in the future, I might not still be offering the one-on-one coaching, but I'll probably be offering something else similar that will help you get unstuck. So check it out. Until next time, keep sewing and creating.